Hello you, welcome to Geekism's Restful, cozy games with calm commentary. Whether you're using this video to relax, center yourself, or drift off to sleep, I hope you find it useful. If you do, please consider subscribing for more, and if you're using this to help get some well-earned rest, I recommend turning autoplay off, so that your phone falls asleep as you do. Today we're taking a look at the demo for Map, a game about maps, where you explore these beautiful little islands and document your journey. Wow, so this is the first island on our trip. That's awesome. And you can map the island. So you could just walk around the island over there and mark that tree on your map, just with your sense of direction and the outline of the island. Wow. We can drag the marker to the intended position, confirmed to complete the mission. So here's the island that we're on now, and here it is that we're on now. We can use pencils to make notes, erase them when we don't need them, but the thing that matters is placing the pin in the right spot. We're marking the tree. Well, as we look at our map, we can see that it's a sort of upward arrow on the map. We have no idea which way is north when we're in game, so we have to try and point out landmarks that we can then reference on the map here. So it looks like the little alcove here is at the bottom, which is there. And the tree is sort of sitting in the middle of these two little lumpy bits here. So I'm going to say the tree is about there. Let's see. Oh, we did pretty good. We were 0.3 steps away. Let's move on to somewhere a little bit more challenging. Wow, that was amazing. I knew you were good, but I had no idea you were that good. Can you do the same on the next island? According to the map, we are looking for a pile of stones. So this one seems a little trickier because it's perfectly round. But we do have the advantage of a compass. The position has been marked on the map because we found this landmark. That's going to give us a really good idea of where we're heading. So it looks like the pile of stones we're looking for is around about here. We're still having to make some guesses at the moment, but I don't think that's too far off. Wow. That was a pretty good guess. We got it spot on. Unbelievable. I thought the stones were on the other side, but I always hold the map upside down too. But how is that supposed to lead us to the treasure? I think we need help, and I already know exactly the right person. Island number 3. Wow, this one looks a lot more involved. May I introduce Milo, an expert on the raven culture. Billy, I really don't think that's a good idea. As you can see, he's not yet fully convinced of our adventure gang, and we need to change that. The best place to start is to show him how good we are, but first, we need some cool tools. And I already have just the right thing, this grid paper with a scale. I found it in my school bag, and I think it was once my math homework. Unfortunately, I never understood it. Something about counting steps and transferring them to the scale. Maybe you can do something with it. Mark the pile of stones on the beach and show Milo what capable adventurers we are. We now have steps and a grid system. We can hold our left mouse button to count steps. So we can move around like normal, or now we can be a little bit purposeful with how we walk. Okay. So these are the steps it wants us to find. Let's take a look at the map. So I'd say that this indent here is this bottom half of the map. And it looks like this corner is right here. Let's mark that with our pencils. We know that 10 steps is 2 squares. So 1 square is 5 steps. So let's count our steps over to the stones from this corner. Well, I'd say it's just about 5. Didn't quite count the last one, but by check, that would put the stones just there. I'm happy with that. Perfect. Don't think we could have done better if we had a ruler. That was indeed impressive, but I really don't intend to join a group. I haven't had such good experiences with that. I think I'd rather look for the Raven culture on my own. Ah, frippery, Milo. It's much more fun together. We can tell each other stories, play tag, or have tea parties. I actually quite like having picnics. Great, then it's decided. Next we have a picnic, preferably at the highest point where lots of beautiful flowers grow. I've drawn a compass rose on the map so you'll always know where north is. Excellent. And now we know that north is that way, and we're looking for the highest point of the island, so let's go exploring. At some point we're going to have to find a point on the map that we can reference, like a corner on the edge, or perhaps another outlying feature. But I would say the highest point of the map is probably this spot here. But over here, look, we see we can have a compass, so we can just confirm that north. Yeah. Oh, the position's been marked on the map. Excellent. I was going to say that was a little trickier, but nope, that seems to be pretty easily done. We're there. And that way is north. So we're going to want to travel east a certain number of steps. Let's see how we get on. I would say 6.5, 7 steps, that is. So we know that 5 steps is a box, so 5, and then this is going to be split into 5 this way. Bet that. So let's put a point about here. This might be the first one we don't really get spot on, but I think it's pretty close. Oh, I think it was good. I think the table might have meant to have landed. The picnic was great. I haven't had such a good time in a long time, and your ability to find places is indeed remarkable. Maybe it really isn't a stupid idea to join you. Of course it isn't, Milo. But to find remnants of the Raven civilization, we will have to use the smallest clues to our advantage. Can you do that? I placed a sticker on the map. It should help you to mark the tree trunk on the east beach. You'll also get my old sticker box with it. I've left some inside for you, so you can place some of them yourself and complete your map, if you like. So, a tree has been placed here, and we're looking for the tree stump near the east beach. Well, let's see if we can find the stump first, so we know where we're working towards. Well, that's clearly where we're trying to get to. And the sticker we have is a nice big tree that is most likely this one. There's also a very little point of the island over there. Let's see if we can confirm that that's over here too. Yep. I would say that that is that point just there. So somewhere in between that tree and this point is that stump. Let's see how many steps. I say that's 4 from this side. Let's see how many from this side just to help us out. And it's 5 from this side. So I would say 1, 2, 3. I think our stump is just about there. That's about 5 from the tree and 4 from that point on the beach. Perfect. Well, not quite, but good enough for 3 stars. So what do you say, Milo? We together as a team with our skills, we could find the treasure and the Raven people in no time. You mean the remains of the Raven people? Okay, I'm on board. Much larger island is next. Well, there's one thing to find, looks like. Wow, that really was in no time. That's what I said, we are awesome. We have indeed discovered ruins. Could they truly be from the Raven people? That would be revolutionary. We'd be the first to lay eyes on it in centuries, no, millennia. Do you know what that means? Yes, the treasure and the map are not far away. No, I mean, yes, but it's much bigger than that. It's unbelievable. The best place to start our investigation is the ruin in the east. So we have a pretty large map, and we know where north is, and we have a few features that we can really pull from here, most notably this lagoon at the bottom, and a river that runs almost into the middle of the island. So let's see what we can find. I imagine this is the river, and we're looking for ruins in the east of the island. So if we follow this river up, coming this way, this would suggest that ahead of us here is north, so this is east. So we're perhaps looking for ruins over here somewhere. We see some interesting shaped rocks here. These look a lot like the Giant's Causeway in Ireland. Beautiful natural structure, but I don't think a ruin. So there must be something else somewhere nearby. Can we jump up the hill? Just about. Oh, this looks more like ruins over here. Something a little bit more man-made. Or raven-made, perhaps. Is that the piece they're pointing to? Ah, perhaps this here. These look like ruins to me. So we need to mark these on the map. First of all, let's see if we can find a north, south, east, west. Ah, looks like there's something up ahead here. But it isn't one that we can select as a landmark, so it isn't going to show it on the map. We have to work a little harder here, I think. Some more rocks over here. There's a bee's nest. And some more ruins here to the northwest of the map. Okay. So since we haven't got much else, we're going to have to use knowledge of the shore, I think, to find out where we're looking. So we have this lagoon down here, which I assume is this little bit here. So we have the lagoon with a little outcrop and then a point. And what I would like to mark is this here from probably that point there. So here's the lagoon. So we're currently here. Oops, let's just mark it with a pencil. Okay, so we'll count our steps up to the compass. I'd say that's pretty much 6. So that's going to put us 1, so 5, 6, yeah, pretty much there is our compass. Can we use some stickers? We'll say our compass is there. And then from the compass, we're going to count steps east. 12. So here, so 2 full ones would be 10, which puts us about, oops, here, plus 2 more. I'm going to say that our ruins to the east is about there. Let's see how close we are. Oh, yes. I'll take that. We could have gone a little further. We were maybe closer to 13 steps by the time we stopped still. But I don't mind that at all. It's amazing. These are real Ida ruins. The maps are really real. Where on earth did you get them? Stolen from your parents? In any case, we should keep going. Next, we'll investigate the ruins in the north. Well, we already found them. We just have to try and mark them on the map. We could work from our compass here, or we could maybe see if there's a shoreline that's different enough that we can mark it. This little point here probably seems like a good spot. Let's see if we can find that. These are definitely the ruins it wishes us to find. Let's see if we can find that slight indent in the water. It's here. Okay. I'm not going to fall down there. We'll say that this is a step. I'm going to count. Oh, no, that's running. We'll say that's a step there. And we'll count this way. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say it's 7. So down here 3. Pretty much take us to there. And then 5, 6, 7. I feel like I'm guessing a little here. We could cross-reference it from down here. Let's perhaps do that. We can sprint. We're pretty confident that we know where this point is. So let's see if we can just count north. I'm not sure we'll be able to get up this cliff. So, I actually think that's probably 7. Plus 6 from before is 13, and perhaps 1 from where we were climbing up the cliff. That would make 14. 5, 10, 1, 2, 3. It's probably closer to there. So, I think if we split the difference and say here. I feel that's a bit of a guess, but hopefully it's not too far away. That's pretty great. Is that a real treasure map in the northern ruin? Does it lead us to the Raven King's great treasure? Did we do it? Come on, go dig it up. Quickly. We can now dig for treasure. Keep an eye out for hints. Press Q to open our radial menu and then select your tool. So we can count our steps, or we can dig. We can't just dig wildly. We're going to look for clues. I'm not too sure what clue it was referencing. Ah. There. This map looks a little... it's a zoomed in version, I think. It's not the full map. It's here. It's to where the treasure is, I think. Yeah, that looks right to me. So we have to go north from the river. From the tip of the river. Which is here. We're going to go up and over this. Oops. And I think this little alcove here looks like a perfect spot for some treasure. Fantastic, we found it. We got a highlighter. Are you alright, Billy? It's very unlikely that this would be the big treasure. Please don't be disappointed. Disappointed? Fiddlesticks! We have found our first treasure. Text marker. How exciting. Now not only can we note our ideas with the pencil, but also mark them with the yellow marker. Awesome. Oop. Let's hope we don't meet this sea beastie on the way. There's 3 treasures to find on this island. I already noticed on the previous islands, but this landmark, I believe the Raven King built himself. There are writings that speak of a tool for orientation, and since the king is a cartographer, the Raven King was a cartographer? Well, yes, that's common knowledge. Tell me, did you two do any research on the Raven King before you went on your adventure? Well, no. No, not really. We should take a closer look. The landmark and the opposite corner. I have a feeling they're somehow connected. The best way to find out is to mark the corner southeast of the landmark, the one behind the tower. From now on, you can find optional treasures to dig up. This island has 3. Mark the wall corner southeast of the landmark, behind the tower. This is probably the most complicated one we've had so far. But here's the landmark up ahead. It's quite a big structure, so it's not as simple as just pointing something out into the middle. We have to find a specific point of it, the southeast corner. I feel like it's going to be just here. Oh, no, it keeps going. It's huge. Okay. Here's the landmark. This will give us a little bit to work with. Excellent. This is quite useful because now we can use walking points to find the southeast corner, which I guess is here. Yep. Okay. Let's count. That was pretty much 5 as well. Which means the southeast corner of the landmark is right there. Excellent. I think we're onto something. You should take a closer look at another corner. Wait, what's that? A stone with glyphs? Let's go mark that. Okay, so we're going up, across, and up. Excellent. Incredible. Revolutionary. I have to research this immediately. Okay, and now, Milo? Shh, I need to concentrate. Okay, we better leave Milo alone. Meanwhile, here's a new sticker for your sticker box. There are 6 little raven statues. I think I've seen some here on the island too, haven't I? Mark the 6 raven statues using perhaps this sticker? I don't think I've seen any actually. Let's go exploring. I don't think that's a raven statue. Could be though. Let's see if I can find something a bit more prominent first before heading back to that. It may well be that that's what it looks like. Nothing else is really jumping out at me as a raven statue. This one's a little tricky to find, but honestly, I don't mind spending some time on this pretty little island. Down on the beach here. Seems to just be mostly stones. I feel like there's probably treasure here, but I don't just want to randomly dig. I want to feel like I really earned it, you know. I'm glad that the bees don't chase us away. I've never been to the Giant's Causeway. I'd love to go. I think it looks quite like this in real life. It's remarkable what nature can do. Sometimes exploring pays off. This definitely looks like there should be treasure in here. Ah. Maybe not treasure, but a clue to find it. Inside the middle of a 5 square cross. Well, the ruins were mostly shaped in squares, so whilst we continue looking for raven statues, let's head up and see if we can find 5 ruined squares altogether. We quite need to be able to find some treasure. Yep. Looks like this is a 5 square cross, so let's get right to the middle and dig. Excellent. We found some bumblebee stickers. Here's some. We're going to carry on exploring the island, see if we can find any of these raven statues. They're turning out to be quite tricky to find. Let's check out this slope, see what's at the top. Ah, I think that may just drop down to the spot we were just in. We've already found that secret, so let's see what else the island has to show us. Surprisingly little up here, actually. Maybe this is a clue? An L shape with a cross to one side of it. But where is it pointing us to? I'm struggling a little to figure this puzzle out. Perhaps this cross lines up with those crossed ones over there? Well, let's hope there's no fall damage. Perhaps not. Perhaps if this was the L, then the X is here? No. As I said, I don't really want to dig aimlessly. I'd really rather figure it out. Ah. Finally, the 6 raven statues. I mean, I really want to dig in the middle of them, but it actually just wants me to mark them on the map. At the moment I have very little to go on as to where we are here. So let's work down to a coast. Perhaps that might help. Or actually thinking about it, perhaps marking this corner would make more sense. Yeah, I think this is definitely the way we go. As this is almost a straight line. Okay, let's get our counting feet on and see how far down here we get. That's 5. That's 10. That's 15. So let's say we're 16 that way. We'll recount from this point. And that's 8. So from the middle, 5, 10, 15, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I think we're going to go just to the left of it, because I think it's very slightly further. Let's try that. Excellent. Okay, I think it says something like ruin 3 reps. Reps? Or does it say biceps? Oh no, steps. It says 3 steps long. Mark the ruin that is 3 steps long. Okay. Oops. More haste, less speed. Okay. I'm not really sure what it's asking for here. There's pretty much all of these ruins are 5 steps long. Ah. Perhaps it means one of these smaller ruins somewhere else. How long is this one? That one's 4. Perhaps that's what it means. Just finding a small ruin. What about this one? Oh, I'd say this one is 3. I figure out how to find this one on the map. The top of the island is fairly nondescript. I think we're better working from the compass point in the middle. Okay, so we're going to go down there. It's about halfway along here. I'm going to say this is 8. Let's just double check. Whoops, that was 2. Yeah, so 8 this way. 5. Whoops, 5. 8. Excellent. Five. And 12, so 17. So 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring us to about here. And then 17, so 15, 16, 17. Again, it feels like a bit of a wild guess, but let's see. Excellent. Turns out we're pretty good at this. Fortunately, languages have never been my talents. As you've noticed, I couldn't decipher much of the glyphs. I hate to say it, but I think we need to hire a translator. Oh yes, a new crew member. This is going to be fantastic. I'm going to put a poster up on the pinboard at school. Pilot pirates are looking for a motivated translator. MFD. Required language. The Dead Raven language. Kra kra. Pilot pirates? The name is still a work in progress. But what are we going to do while we wait? I can tell you that. I was able to decipher a few words. Treasure and community centre. And I know from my books that the ravens like to meet in the largest house on the estate, the one with the most windows. Do I hear treasure? I mean, the one with the most windows, the largest room in the estate, has to be this large building in the middle. I wonder if we're looking to mark it or just dig the treasure up. Looks like just digging it up is what we need to do. So, let's get in here. See if anything jumps out at a spot to dig. Again, I don't love just guessing, but never mind. Looks like we found it in the middle of the room. Makes sense. A protractor. Dividers. Truly impressive. That means that from now on you can also measure diagonally. This opens up a whole new dimension of possibilities. Awesome. Fantastic. We've already found so many awesome source treasures, and I'm sure we'll find a lot more other cool stuff. I wonder what the Raven King's great treasure will be. Maybe a compass that always points to the destination that the user desires the most instead of north. Or a fruit that gives me long arms. Or maybe just a stupid t-shirt. What do you think it will be? Tell us your opinion. We were a total distance of 1.1 R5. I have nothing to compare that to, but I feel that's pretty good. What a fantastic little demo. What a fantastic little game. Different to pretty much anything I've played. Very cozy, very relaxing. I really hope you enjoyed joining me on this one. Again, if you enjoyed it, make sure you've clicked subscribe. Sorry I've been away for a while. The main channel has been taking up the majority of my time when it comes to making videos, but I'm really going to be trying to carve out some time to bring you some cozy and calm gameplay here on Geekism's Restful. Until the next one, be good.